Good morning, dear children. Once again, I welcome you with the same topic, inheritance and variation. In the last chapter, we have revised monohybrid ratio, monohybrid cross. Today, we will be discussing about dihybrid ratio and dihybrid cross. Let's see the PPT and let's begin with the lecture. Before I start with the lecture and start explaining dihybrid ratio, let me tell you one thing. I have been always telling you that please refer your textbook. Please do. Read the genetic terminologies. The statements, the laws which are given in the textbook are to be learnt by heart because you have to write it as it is. It carries marks. They give you mark only when the same quote of the textbook is there in the paper. This is the criteria of HSC board. So please keep that in mind. Okay, let's begin with the lecture. Dihybrid ratio. We saw monohybrid ratio till now. After looking at monohybrid ratio, you must have understood we have studied one character, that is tallness of the plant, with two different traits. Okay, we have studied them with two different traits, that is tall and dwarf. Now today we will be just revising dihybrid ratio. Dihybrid ratio is nothing but a cross or a ratio which is seen with two characters, two different characters, seed color and seed coat. Color of the seed and the coat of the seed. Two characters are there. And four traits are there. How many traits are there? Four traits. One is green color, the other is wrinkled one, the next one is yellow color, and the other one is round one. So we will be seeing all this. Okay? Dihybrid ratio. What is dihybrid ratio? It is a cross, dihybrid cross. Okay? Dihybrid cross is a cross between parents differing in two heritable traits. Di, two. Hybrid, hybrid means what? Not homozygous. They are heterozygous. When it is homozygous, we don't use the word hybrid. When hybridization technique is used and we are crossing it with a new and getting a new variety, that time we call it as a hybrid. Heterozygous. Okay? A cross between parents differing in two heritable traits is called dihybrid cross. Example, cross of pure yellow round seeded plant with pure green wrinkle seeded plant. Mendel performed dihybrid cross between these two plants. He got the ratio 9:3:3:1 as a phenotypic ratio. And the genotypic ratio was 1:2:2:4:1:2:1:2:1. Due to this cross, four new varieties came into existence. The previous two varieties were already there, but more new varieties came. Now, what were those? Yellow round and green wrinkle are the original varieties. The next two varieties are yellow wrinkle and green round. These are the varieties we get to see in new. Look at the table which is there on the PPT. This chart will tell you how the cross has taken place. Parental germination is there. One is a male parent while the other is a female parent. Phenotypically, we have taken round yellow seed. What have we taken? Round yellow seed and crossed with wrinkled green seed. Genotypically, round yellow seed is denoted by capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. While wrinkled green seed is denoted by small r, small r, small y, small y. When the gametes are formed of round yellow or yellow round seed, it is capital R and capital Y because they are already having these genotypes. So the gamete is capital R and capital Y. Over here, the genotype is small r, small r, small y, small y. So the gametes will be small r, small y. After the crossing of these gametes, we get F1 generation over here, which is yellow round seed. What are we getting? Yellow round seed. But if you look at the gametes present there, It is a mixture of gametes. Capital R, small r. Capital Y, small y. They are not mixed. They are independent. How are they? They are independent. Now, selfing the F1 generation, the first filial generation, we are selfing it with itself. We get different type of gametes. How many type of gametes do we get? We get four type of gametes. Capital R, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. Means we get a yellow round, yellow wrinkled, green green round and green wrinkled. So these are the varieties we get over here. Okay. These varieties are further crossed with. I told you the first filial generation is crossed with each other. You will get to see this table in your textbook. Once you get to see the table in your textbook, you will understand how the cross goes on. One is of the male gamete and the other is of the female gamete. Now, how will you calculate this? How will you fill up the table? The first answer will be capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. Means what is the type? What type of seed it is? It is a yellow round. Second one will be capital R, capital R, capital Y, small y. This will also be yellow round and so on. So we are crossing this with this with this one. So continuously we go on crossing it and get the answer. And the ratio which we get is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Now if you look at it properly, you will understand one thing which is very important. That when the hybrid possessing two or more pair of contrasting characters are crossed with each other, they are crossed with each other, or when the gamete formation takes place, the gametes segregate or separate independent of each other. त्यांचं मिक्सिंग होत नाही, ते एकमेकांपासून सेपरेट होतात, न मिक्स होता. असं झालंय का की येलो राऊंड आणि ग्रीन व्रिंकल, तर ते येलो आणि ग्रीन मिक्स होऊन वेगळाच कलर आलाय? नाही. येलो असेल तर येलोच आणि ग्रीन असेल तर ग्रीनच, राऊंड असेल तर राऊंडच, नाही तर व्रिंकल, नाही तर थोडंसं राऊंड आणि थोडंसं व्रिंकल आहे. मिक्सिंग झालंय का कुठं? कुठंच मिक्सिंग झालं नाही. आणि म्हणूनच हा लॉ आपल्याला त्या एक्झाम्पल प्रमाणे खूप व्यवस्थित समजतो. What is it saying? The law states that when hybrid possessing two or more pair of contrasting factors form gametes, the factor in each pair segregates independently of the other pair. Using dihybrid ratio, you have to explain law of independent assortment in the board exam, if they ask you for an example. If dihybrid ratio is only asked for board exam, that time you have to mention about the dihybrid cross, the dihybrid ratio, which is phenotypic ratio, genotypic ratio, which I have given in the first PPT. And after that, the table which I showed you just now. The parental combination, the formation of gametes, selfing of F1. After selfing, how many gametes are formed, how the Punnett square is formed, and how do you fill it up. And then again mention the phenotypic ratio, the genotypic ratio. If you are mentioning the phenotypic ratio, if I'm saying there are 9 round, 9 yellow round, 3 green wrinkle, 3 green round, and 1 green wrinkle, I have to show them in the chart exactly what I'm saying. So see that you learn, you practice the Punnett square. Don't learn it. You practice the Punnett square very well. If it comes in the board exam, it will be for your benefit. After that, we saw backcross and test cross in the last lecture. Backcross is nothing but, we saw the monohybrid ratio. What was the monohybrid ratio? 1 is to 2 is to 1. In that, what did we see? We saw a tall plant is crossed with a dwarf plant. Capital T crossed with small t, small t. Gamete formation, capital T, small t. So the offspring produced was a tall plant, but it had both the traits, both the alleles, capital T as well as small t. Now over here, after getting the F1 generation, in the F2, the offspring is crossed with one of the parent. Why is this done? Why was this done by Mendel? This was just to see what kind of gametes are present. If you look at it properly, look at the table properly, both are homozygous recessive. I have shown the table over here. Please refer the table in your textbook also. Both are homozygous recessive. At one place, we are crossing it with capital R, small r, while on the other place with the dominant one, dominant parent. When we are crossing with the recessive parent, what is the calculation? And when we are crossing with the dominant parent, what is the calculation? We'll see that. When we cross it with the dominant parent, all flowers are violet, unknown flower is homozygous dominant. What are they saying? All the flowers are violet over here. So can we say what is heterozygous and what is homozygous? Unknown flower is homozygous dominant. The flowers are unknown and they are homozygous dominant ones. In this case, in the other case, where we have crossed with the recessive parent, the F1 is crossed with the recessive parent, in that case we get to see that 50% of the flowers are violet while 50% are white. 1:1 ratio in test cross. So you can say what factors were there. 50% tall आले म्हणजे काही tall plant होते आणि काही dwarf plant होते. Test cross चा हा फायदा आहे. This is the benefit of test cross. A back cross is a test cross, but a test cross is not a back cross. We say this because in test cross what happens? We are crossing the F1 or one parent with the recessive parent. Okay, with the recessive parent, not with the dominant one. While in back cross, we can cross it with dominant parent as well as recessive parent, but that's of no use. You can get the pure line plants with that, but for understanding what exactly characters are there, what new varieties come up, we use test cross. Okay, now this was what all Mendel researched on. What did he study on? There were few generalizations which arrived after the Mendel's experiment, and they were a bit deflecting from what his work spoke about. He said that single trait is controlled by a single gene and two alleles. Two alleles show interaction in which one is completely dominant while the other is recessive. Factor genes for different trait present in different chromosomes assort independently. But once time flew off, there were some examples, some characters which were emphasizing or which were showing us that there is some deflection in what Mendel has said. And this deflection was called as neo-Mendelism. Neo-Mendelism, which deflects from the law of what Mendel has given. Mendel said for a single trait, a single gene is responsible. When a single gene is responsible means how many alleles are responsible? Two alleles are responsible. Here, in some cases, it was not like that. There was a deviation from this. And what was the deviation? The deviation was nothing but there were some interactions between the genes. In some places, there was intragenic interaction, while in some places, there was intergenic interaction. What is intragenic? Which occurs between the alleles of the same gene. When there is an interaction between the alleles of the same gene, a gene has two alleles, and both the alleles are showing the same type of configuration. We call them as homologous chromosomes. But in this, we get to see that there is a reaction or an interaction between the alleles of the same gene. Some interaction is there, and that time we call it as incomplete dominance or codominance. It also occurs between the multiple alleles, series of genes. Incomplete dominance and codominance. The example is very well given to you, which is in the next slide. Incomplete dominance. We speak about the plant Mirabilis jalapa of its time. We get to see different varieties in this. In this, you have a very good example of a red flower and a white flower. When they are crossed with each other, you get a pink flower. Means red is not leaving its place, as well as white is also not leaving its place. They are interacting with each other. One allele is of the red, the other allele is of the white one. They are interacting with each other. 50% redness is present, 50% whiteness is present, and because of their interaction, there is incomplete dominance. Incomplete, both are showing their presence. That's why we call it as incomplete dominance. The next one which we saw was intergenic interaction, which occurs between the alleles of different genes. There are different type of genes which control different factors. When these alleles interact with each other, we call them as intergenic interaction, which is present on the same or different chromosome. Example, pleiotropy, polygene, epistasis, supplementary and complementary gene are the example of it. Now, codominance. Like incomplete dominance, codominance is also an example of intragenic interaction. In codominance, both the alleles of an allelomorphic pair express themselves equally. And the example given over here is of the roan. Roan, cow color, hair color of the cow. आपल्याला दोन जातींच्या गाया माहिती आहे. एक तांबड्या रंगाची असती आणि दुसरी पांढऱ्या रंगाची असते. जेव्हा यांच्यामध्ये क्रॉसिंग होतं तर बऱ्याचदा आपल्याला बघायला मिळतं की तिच्या अंगावर केस पांढरे असतात पण कुठेतरी लाल चट्टे असतात. किंवा उलट होतं, तांबड्या रंगाचे केस असतात आणि पांढरे चट्टे असतात. कोडॉमिनन्स, को कोऑपरेशन किंवा आपण म्हणू शकतो 50-50% ऑफ चान्सेस. Multiple alleles. More than two alternative forms of allele of a gene in a population occupying the same locus of a chromosome or its homologue are known as multiple alleles. Multiple alleles arise by mutation of the wild type of gene. A gene can mutate several times, producing a series of alternative expression. How many times can a gene mutate? Several times. It can mutate many times. It is self-replicating and it has the capacity to mutate itself. What is mutation? To get changes in it. To get changes in the original genotypic form. Okay. More than two alternative forms of a gene in a population occupying the same locus. एका locus वरच दोन पेक्षा जास्त फॉर्म आहेत अलील्सचे, त्याला आपण मल्टिपल अलील म्हणतो. ओके. आता याचं उदाहरण तुम्हाला दिलेलं आहे की ड्रॉसोफिला फ्लायचं उदाहरण दिलेलं आहे. त्याच्यानंतर येते प्लिओट्रॉपी. When a single gene controls two or more different traits, it is called as pleiotropic gene. एक सिंगल जीन किती ट्रेट कंट्रोल करते? दोन पेक्षा जास्त. याला प्लिओट्रॉपिझम म्हणतात. याचं उदाहरण त्यांनी दिलेलं आहे. एक जेनेटिक डिसऑर्डर निर्माण होती. There is one disease which is caused, which is a very good example of pleiotropism, when a single gene controls many factors. That is sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is a kind of disease in which the gene itself is lethal. Lethal या शब्दाचा अर्थ it makes you die. फार रेअर केसमध्ये हे आजार होतात पण होतात. सिकल सेल ॲनिमिया मध्ये सेलचं स्ट्रक्चर इट बिकम्स लाईक अ सिकल. आपण घास कापायला जे हे वापरतो, काय म्हणतात त्याला, सिकल जे वापरतो, मराठी शब्द मला आठवत नाही, क्षमा करा मला, पण सिकलच्या आकाराचं जे घास कापायला असतं सीच्या शेपमध्ये असतं आणि खाली लाकडी दांडा असतो, त्याच्याने आपण घास कापतो किंवा खास करून भात शेतीच्या वेळेस जे कापायला वापरलं जातं त्याला सिकल म्हणतात. एवढंच मी तुम्हाला सध्या सांगू शकते, मला शब्द आठवत नाही येतो, सॉरी, एक्स्ट्रीमली सॉरी. आणि अशा पद्धतीचे सेल्स होतात सी शेपमध्ये. सेल जेव्हा श्रिंक होतो, अर्धवटच राहतो, ऑक्सिजन कंटेंट कमी होतो. सेल कंप्लीट असेल तर त्याच्या सगळ्या गोष्टींचा आपल्याला फायदा होतो, पण बॉडीमध्ये असे सेल्स आल्यावर काय होणार? मनुष्य मरणार. And these genes are called as lethal genes. They make the person die. This is all about pleiotropy. Now, we will switch on to chromosomal theory of inheritance in the next chapter. Okay. I hope you all have understood what is told to you. I hope you have understood what is dihybrid ratio. I hope you have understood what are intragenic and intergenic genes, what are the disorders created by it. You understood incomplete dominance, codominance, multiple alleles, and pleiotropism. After this, in the next lecture, we will be talking about chromosomal basis of inheritance. क्रोमोझोमल बेसिस ऑफ इनहेरिटन्स म्हणजे काय हे आपण दुसऱ्या लेक्चरमध्ये बघणार आहोत. तोपर्यंत तुम्हाला महत्वाचं काम, टिल द टाइम, मेक अ नोटबुक, राईट द क्वेश्चन आन्सर्स. तुम्ही स्वतः प्रश्न तयार करा, तुम्हाला काय प्रश्न निर्माण होतात, आणि विशेष करून रिक्वेस्ट आहे, टेक्स्टबुकचा वापर करा. टेक्स्टबुक वाचा, 100 वेळेस वाचा. You will read the textbook, you will understand what is there. And if you don't understand, don't hesitate to call us. Any difficulty, you can call me immediately and ask. Okay? So don't worry about that at all. Refer the textbook, learn the definitions as it is, learn the statements as it is. Hmm? And in the next lecture, we will be beginning with chromosomal basis of inheritance. Thank you.